Hello everyone, this is Manoj and welcome back once again to React.js series. In this video, I will talk about event and event handling in React.js. So, what are React events? An event is an action that could be triggered as a result of the user action or system generated events. For example, a mouse click, loading of a web page, pressing a key, window resizes, and other interactions are called events. React has its own event handling system, which is very similar to handling events on DOM elements. The React event handling system is known as syntactic events. The syntactic event is a cross-browser wrapper of the browser's native event. So let's see how we can use events and event handling with the event handlers with an example. So let's create a component first. Welcome event.js. So import React from React and let's create a function component function welcome event, and inside this return div. This is event handling. Let's put this inside h1 and finally export welcome event, export default, save. This is our traditional functional component. Now if I talk about React events, so basically React events are different than handling events on DOM. So basically the first difference is React events are named as camel case instead of lowercase. So if I show you here button, let's say HTML click event, and if I put another button over here, React click event. Now in the HTML, if I try to give a click event, so I will pass click event like this. Let's say show message. But if I try to give an event handler to React, then I have to pass the camel case. So on click, in HTML we use lowercase as you can see, and in React we use capital letters. So this is capital C, and that is the first difference. Second difference is in HTML we pass string, the function name as a string, but here in React we pass the handler, or you can say the event handling, in curly braces. So that is the second difference. Let's say show message, and let's create this function. And in React we can create function inside function. So function show message, and let's say alert button clicked. So save. Now we need to import this same function in app.js. So let's comment these two, and here import welcome event from components welcome event, and let's copy this and use it here. Save, go back to browser. You see, did you notice every time when I load this page, this event gets fired automatically? The reason is, let's get back to VS Code. See, if we use any handler with the parenthesis, it means it will automatically gets loaded on this component render. All right. So how we can remove this? Use this. Now save, go back to browser, refresh, nothing is happening. Now if I click here, you see, when I click on this button, then this alert message is getting popped out through this message. So this is one way how we can manage our events and we can manage our event handlers. Another way is using arrow function. Let me copy the same button and put it here. And now let's use arrow function and click event using arrow function. And here, let's change this. And now let's create another function, or you can say the event handler with the arrow function. So const the handler name, and then you can say here. So I have created another event handler with the show message arrow, and here we will just change the message using arrow function. Save, go back to browser. If I click here, button clicked using arrow function. So these are the two ways you can define your handlers. All right. Now, another important thing about the event handling is in React, we cannot return false to the default behavior. We must call prevent default event explicitly to prevent the default behavior. Let me show you with an example. Here, let me change this, or let's copy this normal HTML button. Here, instead of show message, let's use console.log clicked, and after this return false. So this is basic HTML event handling. Now we cannot do this in React, but how we can do it? Let me show you. Let's copy this, paste it here, arrow. Let me change it like arrows, and let's copy this and create another handler. So const give an arrow sign here and pass simply E, that stands for events. So simply use E dot prevent default. So basically this will restrict the default behavior of your browser, and after that you can use your logic. So I'm just alerting a message using arrow function with prevent default, and now simply pass E in this arrow function as a parameter. So let's save. Now go back to browser, and when we click on this, you see button clicked using arrow function with prevent default. Now come here and let's try to console.log this E. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, open developer tools, go to console. See, syntactic base event. If I expand this, you see it has a lot of properties, and that is a native event. All right, and name that event name is on click. So that is how we can manage our events and event handlers in functional component. Now let's try to create a class component and see how we can manage the events in class component. So in the component, let's create the same component with component event cls.js, import React from React, and also import component class and class welcome event CLS extends component, and here render, and inside render we need to use return. Simply type return, and inside this let's use simply a button, and for the button let's give an on click event which is React.js event because the on click event is in camel case. Handle click, click here and export this, export default welcome event CLS, and here let's create this event handler. So handle click, alert, you click this button, save, and go to app.js and import this component, import welcome event CLS from component welcome event CLS, and let's use after this save. This dot handle click, save. Now go back to browser. If I click here, you see you click this button. So in class component, this is how we can create our event handlers and how we can associate event handlers with the components, like with the elements button. You can use any HTML element like button, text box, drop down, select. All right. So this is about today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.